Season 2, absolutely love Altered Carbon.
Thank you.
How did it feel playing Takashi Kovacs?
It was a lot of fun. I think there's a great feeling when you can walk around and kick people's ass with no inhibitions whatsoever.
And one of my favorites part of the series was when you were in the circle fight and you got to fight all of the characters from season 1. How was it working with season 1 characters?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, everybody came in and they were ready to play. That was a week-long sequence that we did every single day for 14 hours a day. And it was unforgiving and relentless, and everybody played fair, and there were no divas on. That's the one thing about this. We were so lucky with our cast. And even when the actors from season 1 came, it was still just fun, and everybody had a good time. We all knew how lucky we were to be in season 2 of the show.
You've played so many soldiers in your career. What about that role intrigues you?
I recognize people who can do what I can't do, who have the backbone to be the man that I am not. I got kicked out of ROTC 3 days in, so I know I can never be a soldier. But I feel like, when I look at soldiers, because I have soldiers in my family, veterans, it's humbling. Because we're able to live the life that we live because of the sacrifices they make. So I always try and portray them in a respectable light. So with Takeshi, it's the same thing. I mean, if you're a soldier on the right side or the left side, you still believe what you believe, and it's not my job to tell you it's right or wrong. So I always try to be the best I can be when I play a soldier.
And this series is based on the Richard Morgan book. Did his work influence your role?
No, not at all. I read a little bit of some of the material for season 2. I saw season 1, but I never read the book. So it was more of an experience of just taking that character and putting him in the second season and putting my flavor on it.
Well, this entire series had me at the edge of my seat every single episode. Do you think this concept would happen in real life?
I doubt it. We haven't even figured out how to make cars not run into each other. So I don't see it in the near future. But I would love the ability to be somebody else for a day.
Is there a message you wanted to give to anyone watching this series?
Everyone deserves to be happy. And don't look for your happiness outside you. You have to find your happiness within you. One thing about Takeshi in this season that I wanted to make on the forefront of the story was, he spent all this time looking for this person, looking for this love, but he was really unhappy with himself. So he had to go back home to find his happiness. So, be happy with you and everything else will fall into place.
So you guys play such powerful female characters in Altered Carbon. I love season 2. I'm so glad Quell is back. How was playing Quell in season 2 compared to season 1?
I love Quell too. In season 1, she is really, I think what attracted me to her is that, there's this love story, and she's the prize. I think, I think so often I felt as an actress like I exist to make other couples interesting.
Oh.
Do you hear me? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I just loved the fact that, when this main character closed his eyes, no matter who he was with,
no matter what body,
he was in, no matter what other body he was dealing with in any romantic situation, when he closed his eyes, he saw the face of this black woman. Like, I loved
you just
that.
made that.
I needed it. I think I needed it. And so that's really attracted me to her in season 1 is being that, just being this woman that was that in this world. And in season 2, what I love is that she isn't defined by being anybody's dream.
Right.
Right?
Right.
She actually you actually meet her, and she's real, and she's still powerful, but she's vulnerable, and she has her own journey to figure out who she is, and you'll see that she figures it out. But those two things were things that I felt I needed to see on a show.
Yeah.
And the Altered Carbon gave it to me.
I love the love story in season 2. I think that's what really got it for me in season 2.
Yeah.
First off, congratulations on your NAACP nomination.
What?
Yes.
Yes, slow clap.
Yes.
Slow
Yes.
clap. Slow
Yes.
clap.
It was,
Holding it
you
down.
deserve it. It was amazing.
I'll take it. I will take it. Thank you.
So how was playing the bounty hunter in Altered Carbon compared to all of your other roles?
Yeah,
like
let's
in
talk
Luke
about
Cage?
the range, Simone Missick.
Oh,
the range of roles.
You know, Trep was a role that's quite the departure from a character that I was introduced to the world as, which is Misty Knight on Marvel's Luke Cage. She is, to me, the polar opposite of Misty Knight. The idea of, you know, it's me or you. I will kill you and take your stack if I need to. And what is the cost? How much is it worth?
Right.
And, you know, the difference in that, and yet at the same time, her deep need is still family. It's still community. It's still protecting those who are closest to her, which is very much like every character that I have gotten the pleasure and, you know, the good fortune and the blessing to play. And so for me, I loved just the dichotomy of who Trep is, that on the outside, you see this woman, she's tough, you can take nothing from her. And yet on the inside, she is a wife, she is a mother, and she is fiercely protective of her family, and she is a daughter. Yeah.
I love
Sister.
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 I love Trep.
There
So
we
how was working with Anthony Mackie?
go. Wonderful. Anthony. So our characters have a different relationship with Anthony, and I think that bled into the off-camera as well as the on-camera. So off-camera, or on camera, Trep and Kovac are not BFFs. Off camera, Simone and Anthony, we're not always BFFs.
They have an amazingly wonderful rapport.
We have
they
a
are
good
hilarious
love.
together. They knew each other before.
We do.
So they came in with a chemistry that's amazing. It's so fun to watch them. I've been a fan of Anthony Mackie's for years, and I pinch myself, honestly, that I got to play. I had all of these scenes with him where he's longingly looking to me. I mean, somebody had to write him to do that.
Right.
But no, he's really wonderful to work with. I'm so grateful that he took this job, and I'm so grateful that he did what he did in this role, because I couldn't have. I could never have lived out the fulfillment of this character's journey without a really strong leading male actor to come in and hold it down. And I think it's like for a man to be as powerful as you have to be to play Kovac. Yeah. And understand that you're kind of looking to and belief and kind of allegiance to and even sometimes submitting to a strong woman does not weaken you as a man. Like understanding that, and I just think I'm just thank God that he does and that he did. And I think when I watch the show, I just get goosebumps watching it.
Well, I got goosebumps the entire time. You're the original Takashi Kovac. How does it feel playing in season 1 and season 2?
Two very different experiences, but the same. The training for it was the same. It was just brutal and a lot of dieting, a lot of cardio, a lot of punching and kicking. But that to me is the adrenaline rush I love. That's kind of the big part of movie making that I love to be a part of. But season 2 is different. And in the best possible way. And if I could say the world building that happened in season 1 was fantastical, season 2 is literally you're getting on this bullet train from episode 1 and it just goes. And it's a mind bend FU. And that's what I love is Netflix takes these big risks. And it's a big risk, season, and it pays off.
And you also have a background of being a martial artist. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how that benefited your training?
My father was one of the first Taekwondo masters to come to the United States, and I put on my first belt when I was 3 and competed for half my life. Got on a fight scholarship to Berkeley, and then eventually I wanted to become an actor. And it served me well in terms of timing and knowing how not to get hit, and then coming to the world of filmmaking and understanding cameras and angles. And so, it's when you get the right dance partner like Anthony, it's so hard not to give spoilers, but all I can say is watching him train, you have to find the right dance partner, or otherwise you got to bring in the stunt guy. So it's definitely benefited me.
How was working with Anthony Mackie?
He's one of my favorite dudes. And when I say he was the captain of the ship this season, he kind but strong, and it's the whole cast. Like, everyone came to play. And if you weren't on your A game, you were gonna get run over. And so Anthony Mackie is the consummate professional. But you never felt the days to be 16 hours with him, because he kept it moving. And between Simone and Renee and Anthony, I mean, we laughed a lot. And then it would be action, and then all of a sudden there's guns and fights and fists and blades.
Well, I was definitely at the edge of my seat, like, watching every episode. How does it feel to be an Asian American actor in this industry?
You know, it's been a tough 20-year ride, but I think, you know, and I was explaining this earlier, Simone Missick and I were sitting last night at the after party, and we were like, gosh, remember that day? And the day was, it was me, Anthony Mackie, Renee Goldsberry, and Sally Richardson, who directed it. So it was 3 African-American leads and myself. And we were like, that scene particular, you know, I was in it, and it's so hard not to give spoilers, but essentially to have 4 people of color holding center frame, that didn't happen 5 years ago. And we were so proud of the moment, we stopped and we go, we have to take a picture of this. And for Netflix to kind of just be brave to reflect the world we live in, I mean, it's special. And we knew it was a special moment. And so we sent each other those pictures, and we're like, can you believe this? This is amazing. And so being Asian American, to see Crazy Rich Asians do its thing, to see Awkwafina do its thing, Sandra Oh, I mean, I feel like the needle is moving in the right direction. And being a part of this show, where you see, like in episode 7, this Romeo Juliet kind of love story, and this very epic love story between a black woman and a Korean American male, I mean, you wouldn't have seen that 5 years ago.
Well, thank you so much for representing the Asian American community. So I love both of your characters in season 2.
Thank you.
It's so great to be here with you guys. Your character disappeared in season 1, and now he's back for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think Poe kind of struggled to reboot as a character?
The moment of reconception in the show, right? The regeneration of Poe is he comes back, but there's something a little broke. So that was the best part about playing in season 2, is having this obstacle and getting to play a character that is striving for something greater than himself, and in doing so, meeting a fellow partner in crime and finding a new journey through it.
Well, I'm so glad he's back for season 2. I
Me
love
too.
Poe as a character. Dig is such a great addition to season 2.
Thank you.
How did it feel playing season 2 or being part
Being
of
a
the cast?
part of it.
Yeah.
The best. I got to play with this guy, which was, I mean, the most fun, and just, I was honored because I'm such a huge fan of him. And while you were talking, I was thinking about something, which was your brokenness. I think oftentimes in stories or in life, we're inspired by people that we think have it better than us, or are put together and sort of enlightened in some way. And I think it's quite special that Dig is moved by and inspired by someone who's broken. That says a lot about her as a character. That there's, you know what I mean?
There's an
that,
intimacy there.
There's an intimacy there. She sees, and I think often when I've really, really been inspired by someone, there is a brokenness to them. And I think that's just such a reflection of humanity. We are all broken in our own ways, and it's through the cracks that we get to connect to each other. And I really think that's a wonderful thing about their connection. Yeah.
Well, you guys have such great chemistry on camera. I especially love Dig when she's doing all of the technology and everything, like the screens and everything. So I'm sure it was such a great experience.
Screens were wild. I'd never done anything like it before, and we basically just had to choreograph hand movements together and figure it out without any visuals, and then they add the visuals after.
Yeah.
Which is crazy
Yeah.
as an
Surreal.
actor. Yeah. Fun though.
Do you think we can expect a season 3? Are you guys working on anything?
Oh, I think we can definitely think that there is a future, but season 2 will stand alone on its own because of the amazing amount of work that has gone into it with the addition of Dina and Anthony and the new cast.
They're all so incredible.
Yeah, season 2 is going to be a life unto itself, and if season 3 ever happened, it will be way down the road. So right now, just the 8 episodes of season 2 will be the rebirth of Altered Carbon.
Well, I'll definitely be looking out for it, and I love how you guys ended season 2. I think that was the perfect ending. You guys make such a dynamic pair. How does it feel to play the governor of an entire planet?
It was awesome. I was like, oh, I get to rule a planet. Yeah, really, 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 really fun.
You play such a powerful role. I absolutely love it. How was playing the Colonel?
He's still, in charge of the protectorate's interests in a way. That makes it so interesting because both of these parties are not really bound by a common set of values, but just by trade in a way. So that lays out a beautiful dynamic the whole season is playing with, and it's been really fun because Lela is a great actress, and she came up with a couple of interesting challenges that always kept me awake, and that was just great, and I'm super grateful for that because I think it shows, and it's far away from being something that is very, very obvious.
And speaking of challenges, can you talk a little bit about any challenges you guys faced filming this season 2?
No, it was a really great set. It was a really great bunch of actors. I always feel like the challenges is being far away from home in another country, and like sometimes feeling like you're a little bit in space and limbo, and so I would find like that part challenging. But then once you get on set, it's all play, and that's a blast. And I wasn't, you had a lot of stunts. That must have been really challenging to learn.
Oh yeah, but it was great because it was learning, and getting to pick the brains of some of the greatest stunt performers and coordinators in the industry was just mind-blowing. It's incredible, and it helped me learn so much. I do have a little bit of a martial arts background, but getting to learn how you sell these things for camera, really, that's a completely different thing.
Oh, here was a challenge, going to the bathroom in your costume.
Oh yeah.
Some of those costumes, you're like, how? I need attendance.
Yeah.
The costumes are amazing.
So worth
Yeah,
it.
Cynthia Summers did an incredible job.
Incredible.
And I remember, this is one little funny anecdote. I remember day one, they had this crazy armor plate here on the chest that had been molded for, I think like 72 hours before it really dried out. So first thing, once I had the costume on, I would take out the gun, and try to see if I could move and do like that with the gun and look down, and it cracked. And that was day one for me. And I thought, like, that's a funny start now. But they made it work, they got to fix it. Nobody was angry with me, and it worked out.